Well, the fourth class trial is gonna start soon. Therefore, it is time for me to tell you who I think the killer is this time around. Alright. You go first. No? I guess you want me to say first. Okay. Um. well. Could it be that you have an idea on who it is, but you are worried if it will actually turn out true? Just like a similar case you had a while ago. Actually, no, that's not it. In fact, it's the opposite. I'm actually a bit lost on who it could be. No way! Oh, how the mighty have fallen! Quite interesting how the one who solved the seesaw trick by themselves has nothing to say about such a measly murder case like this one. Well, hey, I still have quite a lot of stuff to say about this whole thing, though. It's not like I'm totally lost. And if I go through this step by step once again, I may be able to figure something out. Who knows? Alright. In that case, bring it on, chump! Show me what you got! Well, first, there is something I'm gonna do that I have been thinking of ever since we finished Korikyo's case, and I would like to apply it from now on, in this and the future trials. So, we all know how Himiko is always getting accused of murder, and it actually isn't her, and it's starting to become a really annoying trend as of late. But I am not gonna stay back and do nothing about it. Ladies and gents, I present to you Himiko Accusation Countermeasure Protection and Happiness Mission. Or HAKFM. This is a segment where I'm gonna talk about Himiko's actions and make sure that she's not seen as the culprit. And when she's getting wrongly accused of being the culprit, be prepared to counteract that with my thoughts of why it couldn't have been her. The HAKFM will consist of two parts. First one will be the pre-trial thoughts/conclusion segment that will prove Himiko's innocence. And second part will be the trial refutation segment, in case people accuse her and I will have to bring up my thoughts from the pre-trial segment, or think of new ideas to prove Himiko's innocence when new evidence is shown. Obviously, if I'm doing this segment, that means I have faith that she didn't do it, even if I can't say for sure who the culprit was. Why? Well, the main thing about it is the fact that she was never alone in the virtual world, or in the real world. She was always with someone wherever she was. Starting from when we all gathered at the computer room the first time to enter the virtual world, from there she was always with a group when searching the mansion, and went to the chapel and began searching inside with Kibo and Maki. She was always inside the chapel when Miu went outside and did her own thing. Not to mention when we all exited the virtual world the first time and re-entered it afterwards to investigate Miu's body. There was no window that I can think of that she would do anything behind our backs, like being able to kill Miu. And not to mention some other details, like not being good at programming, therefore having no idea how to change the files in the computer the way Miu would, never having made any contact with Miu while working on the virtual world, even if that may end up proven wrong in the event she will tell us that she did talk to Miu before. Her magic not being strong enough in the virtual world, thus not being able to use it in any way to cause Miu's death, not having any prior knowledge of the virtual world's layout, parameters, or changes, to fully prepare for a possible future murder, every moment described by her during the investigation being pretty much proven right by others, like Maki and Kibo, since all three of them were the ones searching the chapel. None of Himiko's actions or anything she said has raised any suspicion during the investigation or before that. And last but not least, not having any strong legit motive to kill Miu. I mean, yeah, Miu always managed to piss Himiko the most out of everyone, but in my eyes, out of pure belief, she still would never kill her just because of that. Nyeh, suck it! I always wanted to end the song like that. But alright, that concludes the pre-trial segment of HAKFM, which was pretty easy to do for Himiko. Can't say the same for the rest of the students though. I mean, outside of Himiko and Shuichi, who I believe have solid alibi, it can be anyone. Hell, it could have been me for all you know. I mean, really? Preparing chicken legs while Shuichi was searching the kitchen? Doesn't that sound a tad bit suspicious to you? But okay, let's continue with some of the possibilities that I have been thinking of so far in regards to Mew. And well, to put it bluntly, I believe Mew was planning to kill Kokichi. She was planning for murder using the virtual world. And given the fact that we're talking about Mew, there's a lot of evidence that points toward Mew planning for murder. Like wanting us all to live in the virtual world when a couple of days ago she was panicking and wanted to escape, hiding some of the changes she had done to the simulator from us, like adding the extra wall, making it so that when Mew touches Kokichi he would freeze, the fact that she had left the hammer in the program, the cell phone that she most likely used to log Kaito out, the fact that Mew chose Kaito for rooftop searching specifically so that he can be accused of murder, because we would think that Kaito killed Kokichi in the real world using the bottle of poison that was left on the chair. Reason why the bottle of poison was left on his chair specifically, which was done by Mew, and that's why he was logged out specifically. The fact that she intentionally pushed the signboard into the water to make it harder for us to believe that Mew killed Kokichi, since everyone would think at first that Mew was on the chapel side, while Kokichi's dead body would be on the mansion side on the rooftop. Which we can infer from what we learned about Kokichi and Mew planning a meeting there. Also, about how Mew would manage to get from one side to another. At first, I was thinking of the possibility that after the signboard was pushed into the water, she would go and surf on it. Thus, she would go to the right where the wall is, and end up on the mansion side from the left. I mean, as much as I find that hilarious, that raised a few problems at first. One would be that Mew would first have to go to the chapel to tell Himiko, Maki and Kibo that she would go outside. And by the time she did that, the signboard would already end up on the mansion side and get stuck on the rock, thus losing her chance to end up on the other side. And not to mention that while I was thinking that the signboard could end up from one side to another, Mew wouldn't be able to follow it because the wall prevents students from passing through. It was a messy theory that I had. However, given what Monotaro said before the investigation ended, it would seem that Mew can go through the wall too, because she gave herself the object parameter, and since Mew also added a wall and changed it so that any object can go through it, why not go to the right and just end up at the mansion? I mean, that seems like a much more easy solution than what I was thinking of before with the surfing on a signboard idea. Mew would pass through the wall on the left and end up on the mansion side. Tsumugi sees Mew through the window. When she passes through, she ends up on the rooftop to meet up with Kokichi and use the hammer to kill him, and that's it. That's all I got. Like, from here on out, it still feels like a mystery to me. I do believe that I got Mew's plan all covered, but in terms of who killed her, and how she got killed, and how her body ended back on the chapel side, all of this I'm still gonna have to think about. So, how did she get killed? We know it's not poison in the real world. Her eyes would be red if it were. The positioning of her hands suggests that we're talking about strangulation, but we didn't see any strangulation marks on her real body, so that would imply that she got strangulated in the virtual world. I mean, okay, but how? There was nothing that we found that could be used to strangulate her. And what is the deal with the lattice that we found near her body? I mean, I cannot say that I have any clue as to how the lattice would be used in her plan to murder Kokichi, so it could have been used to kill Mew. But how? And if we are talking about how he found Mew's body on the chapel side, My guess is that she got killed on the mansion side, then she got thrown through the wall on the left so that she would pass, and then end up on the chapel side. Reason why we heard that loud sound. But I still have to ask myself, how and what was used to have her end up on the chapel side and create that loud impact sound? It cannot be that she died on the chapel side, because the only people that were on the chapel side were Himiko, Maki, and Kibo, who were all in the chapel, whereas on the mansion side, everyone was split, so it could have been anyone. Also, Monotaro said something about an unknown error that happened when we all logged in, the first time in the virtual world. What is that? Like, what is the deal with that? What does it mean? I mean, will it affect the case tremendously? I mean, what caused the error to happen? He said that this error applies to one of the students, and like Maki said, we didn't notice anything strange going on with any of the students. Unless that particular error made Mew even more of an asshole, that I can believe. But outside of that, I got nothing. Also, what the hell is the deal with the toilet paper? I have no idea why this toilet paper ended up on the side of the mansion. Was this used for something? Is this a clue that was accidentally left by the culprit? Or Mew? Did Mew want to poop outside the mansion? And she carried the toilet paper with her? But we cannot poop in the virtual world. Ugh. I swear to God, this toilet paper is probably going to end up being the most important evidence in this entire murder case. And I just don't know what it means. It is going to end up being the death of me. I mean, think about the poor soul that doesn't have toilet paper right now.
Oh no, I'm out of toilet paper. I best go to the store, for I have a log that I really need to drop. Ooh.
This is pure chaos. This is actually quite worrisome, and my gut feeling is telling me that something bad will happen too, and it will most likely involve Kokichi. I'm pretty sure he knows everything that happened, and he's using the information that he knows, and possibly the actions that he has done to further his plans, whatever they are. I can't say that I have a lead on who it was that killed Mew. So... what if it was Himiko?